Hi everyone, welcome to this another video on building bylaws. In previous video, we discussed about important bylaws in building construction, which covers the parameters like distance from power supply mains, exterior open spaces and height of the building. Now, in this video, let us discuss about the bylaws for requirements of buildings, which may include plinth area to compound wall. Let us see one by one in detail in this video. If we see these bylaws for requirements of buildings, they give certain instructions or certain guidelines which are fixed laws for the construction of building. We have to follow these laws while constructing the building, and we need to satisfy all the regulations according to these bylaws. So in this, the first one is plinth area. So whenever we are selecting a building, there are certain laws for selecting or for constructing the plinth area. So if we see this plinth area, it should be provided like there is no difficulty in drainage. So whenever we are selecting the plinth area, there should be proper drainage at that plinth area place, and then it should be generally at a height of 0.45 meters above the surrounding ground level. And if we consider the street level, interior courtyard should be 150 mm above the street level. So this is regarding the plinth area. We have to follow these plinth area guidelines or laws while constructing the building. When we satisfy these conditions regarding the plinth area, then we are just obeying the bylaws which are provided for building construction, and it is good for satisfying the local authorities' criteria. Then next, we are having habitable rooms. These habitable rooms majorly include bedrooms and multi-purpose usage rooms. So whenever we are planning for a building with a single habitable room, or if we are planning for a building with 2 or more habitable rooms like 2 BHK or 3 BHK, then we should follow certain regulations according to these bylaws. So if we see here, minimum floor area condition for a building with single habitable room like a 1 BHK, 1 bedroom is the main habitable room, then the minimum area for the habitable room will be equal to 9.5 meters square. Whereas if we are using more than 1, 2 or 3, then the second habitable room should maintain a minimum area of 7.5 meters square. Then next, minimum width of the room. Minimum width of the room should be provided 2.4 meters if we are planning for a single room. But if we are planning for a 2 or 3 rooms, minimum width of the room should be equal to 2.1 meters. And then minimum height and minimum headroom will be equal like 2.75 meters. That is the minimum height required for a habitable room. And if false ceiling is done for that room, then minimum height should be or minimum headroom should be maintained at a height of 2.4 meters. So we have to follow. These are the mandatory bylaws for the building construction according to NBC or any local authorities. Then next, if we see, we are having kitchen. So when we are going to construct the kitchen, certain requirements are there for the kitchen. So if we are using kitchen as a kitchen cum store, one condition we have to follow. If we are using only kitchen, then we have to follow one condition. And if we are using kitchen and dining together, we have to follow one condition. So first and foremost thing, whenever we are going to construct or designing interior for a kitchen, then we should select the floor should be impermeable. Why? Because there is a lot of usage in water, and also more cleaning is required in kitchen rooms. That's why the floor should be impermeable, and also a window or ventilator opening should be provided in every kitchen for the exit of hot and flue gases. Then if we are using the kitchen with store, we are having minimum floor area as 5 meters square, minimum width of the kitchen will be 1.8 meters and height is 2.75 meters. So the height is common for all three conditions. Whereas the kitchen is used with dining, then we have to increase the minimum floor area from 5 to 7.5 meters square, where we need to accommodate a dining table and other dining facilities. And here the minimum width is equal to 2.1 meters. Then if we are using only for kitchen purposes, it is just enough with 4.5 meters square, and we need to maintain minimum width again as 1.8 meters. So these are the conditions for kitchen requirements, are the laws which we have to adopt in kitchen construction. Then if we see, we are having bathroom and water closet conditions. So whenever we are going to construct or designing the washroom or bathroom, then see, at least one wall, means the bathroom location should be exactly exterior end of any building. So here at least one wall about to exterior space means the exterior wall should be one wall of bathroom. That is the first and foremost condition. Then next, high level window or ventilator should be provided, which means a window or ventilator should be provided greater than the lintel level. Then again, impervious floor should be adopted here. Why? Because there is a lot of usage of water, so the floor should be impervious in nature, and proper draining facility should be provided in the bathroom. So if we see here, there are some minimum conditions like minimum floor area, recommended size, and a minimum height are given for the bathrooms and water closets. So if we are using bath and water closet separately, then minimum floor area for bathing will be equal to 1.8 meter square, and whereas for water closet it is 1.10 meter square. But if we use both bath and water closet together, we should provide a minimum area of 2.8 meter square. Then recommended size, if we are using bath and water closet separately, then for bath 1.5 by 1.2 meters need to be adopted, and for water closet 1.1 by 1 meter need to be adopted. But if it is combined together, we need to adopt 2.3 by 1.2 meters, and minimum height is here 2 meters is allowed, whereas in previous cases it is 2.7 meters. So these are the conditions or the bylaws which are provided for bathroom and water closets. Then next we are having storeroom conditions. So what are the bylaws required for storerooms? So here they mentioned only one point regarding storerooms, like size of the storeroom shall not be less than 3 meters square, and height should not be less than 2.2 meters. So we need to follow this category. Whenever we plan for a storeroom, then the height of the storeroom will be equal to 2.2 meters, and it should not less than 3 meters square in area. Then next we are having staircase conditions. So what are the staircase conditions by the bylaws? See, for residential buildings, when we are going to construct a residential building, for that building, for stairs we need to follow these conditions. See, maximum raise in a stair should be equal to 190 mm. It should be less than 190, but it should not be greater than 190. Then minimum thread should be equal to 250 mm, and minimum width of the stairs will be equal to 0.75 meters. So less than 0.75 meters is not allowed. Why? Because there will be a two-way going on the stairs. So minimum specification is like 0.75 meters. Then minimum headroom under the stairs will be equal to 2.2 meters. Then we are having parapet conditions. So parapet conditions are like parapet walls are provided on ends of the building, whereas in terrace or any floors. So parapets, whenever parapets are provided in buildings, it should not be less than 1.05 meters. So if it is less than 1.05 meters, those are not considered for a good design, and bylaws are not accepting that designs. So it should not be less than 1.05 meters, and it should not be more than 1.2 meters. So if it is more than 1.2 meters, there is an obstruction for light and air. So it should not be more than 1.2 meters considering from the finished floor level FFL. So we have to adopt parapet in this manner. Then next one is compound wall, which is the last one in our bylaws. So whenever we are going to construct a compound wall, we have to keep in mind the maximum height of the compound wall should be 1.5 meters or above 1.5 meters, and it is allowed up to 2.4 meters in some cases where we will get the approval from local authority or government organizations. So for corner plots, if we are having a corner plot which is facing two roads together, then at that places we need to construct 0.75 meters solid masonry wall as a compound wall. Then after 0.75 meters to another 0.75, which is up to 1.5 meters, we can construct a open type wall. So the compound wall which is going to be constructed at the corner should be strong enough if there is any accidents or mishappenings happening over there. So this is the last condition in bylaws for the compound wall. So these are the bylaws for requirements of buildings. One should follow these rules while constructing the building. Why? Because these are the mandatory guidelines given by the bylaws or local authorities or NBC. So we have to follow these bylaws. So this is for bylaws. In next video, let us see what are the elementary or basic principles in building planning and how they are guiding us in our building construction. So see you in the next class. Thank you. Bye.